Alright, the last thing I want to talk about is where you can go from here in your cubing journey. Because right now, I'd say this is probably enough for sub 45 quite easily. So let's see. We'll do a solve and we'll see. I won't do inspection because I doubt that any of the starting cubers know how to use inspection. Turning moderately slow, and I'm seeing just how much progress I can make. So yeah, sub 45 quite comfortably. That was pretty slow. I've seen beginner turners, and as you get more practice, that's about as slow as it gets. But maybe my recognition and consistency, lack of pausing, made it a little bit faster. But you're definitely sub 1 minute, so you can definitely try and get faster. But the daisy in particular has been a step where things might slow down. But I'll just do like a regular solve first to demonstrate how much faster the CFOP method itself is. Again, I'll do it on white just to make things easier to see, but I don't usually do white anymore. So yeah, 10 seconds versus 40 seconds, but then again, I also have been turning way faster. Apart from turning, I think there's a few key things that make the CFOP method faster, and the first thing is skipping the daisy step. So instead of doing the daisy, you can actually, the only important part of the daisy was easily making this white cross. And if you could, you can technically always create this white cross in just 8 moves from any scrambled position, with all of the edges in the correct spot too, might I add. So using inspection, practicing, trying to come up with ways to insert these in 8 moves is a puzzle of its own, really. And if you can sort of get the hang behind that, there are tutorials out there. I'm not the best at it, so I probably won't make one, but if you can figure that out, that's probably a good next step. Saves you a lot of moves. On the next layer, I guess the main technique here is the F2L. I've sort of foreshadowed it. F2L stands for first 2 layers, and it's this building of the first layer, this white face, as well as the second layer, which is all of the edge insertions. But instead of making it so algorithmic and the same algorithm every time, what we do is we create intuitive cases for block building where we can insert both the corner and the edge at the same time. So that makes things a lot faster than having to, for instance, insert just a corner and then work on a separate algorithm for an edge. That's way less efficient. But I'd say it's way harder than trying to learn how to do cross without a daisy. So I wouldn't recommend that one as early on, but there are good tutorials out there for that, and I can probably make one as well because I feel like my F12 is pretty decent. But really, the key premise with F2L is there are 2 main cases that we want to set up into. We have this 3 mover, 1, 2, 3 moves from here to here, as well as this 3 mover of 1, 2, 3 moves. And every other combination is just a certain number of moves away from setting up back into this 3 move case before we can then insert the piece into its correct slot. And so that's the basis of intuitive F2L, at least, which is the bulk of the F2L I still use anyway. So I would recommend F2L if you want to get much faster. From my experience, people who have averaged around 50, once they learn F2L, they can get down to 25, 20 seconds even. It's the main limiting factor, I would say, but it's also pretty hard to learn if intuition's not your thing, which it wasn't mine, but I'm getting better at it. So that's F2L. And I'll also add that once you learn F2L, that's probably when you're a speedcuber. After that, we've got 2-look OLL, which is after you make the yellow cross, you'll know all of the cases for the yellow cross to solve instantly, because doing sune a bunch of times isn't exactly extremely efficient. So if you can just skip them and do one algorithm, it's pretty good. I don't exactly remember how many algorithms there are for the yellow cross to the yellow face, but I think there was like 8 of them, so it's not too many. Versus the next step, which is the PLL. And instead of solving corners and then edges, what professionals all do, if they even get to this step, is they'll solve the last layer in one algorithm. There are 21 algorithms in this set, but it was the first full alg set that I learned, and it was probably the easiest one, so I would recommend that. Apart from 3x3 though, you actually already have enough information to solve a 2x2, so I'll just do a quick 2x2 solve for fun, just to demonstrate that you actually have all the techniques you need for solving a 2x2. And the thing I'll emphasize with that is, basically, a 3x3 and a 2x2 are the same, except the 2x2 treats all of the centers and edges as always solved. So you're really just solving corners. And in this particular scramble, it's not that good, so I'm going to scramble it up some more. Okay, once you get here, the real goal is just solving the corners. And once you have one corner in, you can do sexy moves to insert all of the rest of the corners. Then you've got the corners, and you don't even have to do the edge insertion now, because there are no edges. Then you'll do treat this as the solved yellow cross, and just do sune. There won't be any headlights, there will just be yellow bars, and now there will be a yellow face. And from the yellow face, there's no need for the edge permutation alg. It's literally only the T-perm algorithm that you'll ever have to use for solving this layer around. So you already know how to solve a 2x2. So 3x3, 2x2, I would not quite recommend 4x4 quite yet. I would say probably get way faster with 3x3 first, but as another added challenge, and because I love one-handed, I'll do one-handed solve just as a demonstration of some of the fun that you can have with one-handed. And this one I'll do color neutral because I like to. And really, one-handed gets you better at two-handed. I don't really even practice two-handed solves anymore, I just do one-handed, but my one-hand gets faster as well, so wow. That was a really fast one-handed solve on camera, but not much inspection. Wow, that was pretty good. So yeah, one-handed, white cross without a daisy, first 2 layers intuitively, 2-look OLL, and all 21 PLLs, plus you already know how to solve the 2x2. That's pretty much the next steps. I want to thank you for joining me on this series. Hope you've had fun. Leave any questions or comments on what you want me to do next. Happy cubing.